Hi, I'm Jerrilynn Hadley. I'm a single mom, have a 10-year-old at home. I am a lawyer, thanks to the VA, and I also am a journeyman electrician, thanks to the Navy. I spent 10 years in the Navy. I'm a disabled vet. I got out because of my disability. I was part of the first group of enlisted women to go to sea, who were permanently assigned to a ship. Before that, I joined thinking I was going to be a yeoman and learn to type. Back then, they typed. And I ended up on a tugboat. There wasn't even a typewriter. Back then, they didn't make safety shoes for women. Our dress uniforms were skirts. And I was going to be a deckhand on a tugboat in a skirt and patent leather pumps. But, you know, things progressed eventually, and they sent 50 of us to a ship homeported in Gaeta, Italy. There were 2,500 people on the ship. 50 of us were women in the beginning. And I was assigned to the engine room as an electrician's mate. And I had a great time. I actually re-enlisted to stay there because it was 2 weeks in Italy, 2 weeks somewhere else, 2 weeks in Greece, 2 weeks in Spain, 2 weeks in Egypt, 2 weeks. It was a fantastic tour of duty. I really got to see the Navy, see the world, go to lots of places. I got hurt, I got out, and through the voc rehab program with the VA, I got to go to school and then ultimately law school on my VA voc rehab benefits. So I've been practicing law for 17 years now, and I live in Panama City Beach, great place. Lots of sunshine, lots of water. I'm learning to surf now. And
Great.
I was going to say some of the things that I remember in the Navy. Just, you know, when we first came to the ship, well, they set us all up to go to the ship, and they put us in Norfolk waiting to go to the ship. Waiting and waiting and waiting. And it turns out that the old man that was on the Sound did not want women on his ship. So they had to wait till he was relieved of his command and a new commanding officer took the boat. And then they put us on there. Now, they painted all of the bathrooms pink. They couldn't decide what to write on the bathrooms. Female heads, because in the Navy it's always a head. So you got to know how bad that went. Eventually it said, ladies' powder room on all the bathroom doors. We're like, what is that, a powder room? But there were no ladies' powder rooms in the aft end of the ship, which is where the engine room was, which is where I worked. So I either waited a long time to go to the bathroom, or I used the men's bathroom, because they actually had male heads. We were stacked 3 high and end to end. Everything we owned belonged in a locker about this deep that was the size of a bed, a small twin bed, and you lifted the lid and put your stuff in, and then you got in. And there was somebody above you and somebody below you, if you were lucky enough to have a middle rack. It was an adventure. It was a great time. I was the first woman to go aloft. That means I was the first one to climb the mast and go out on the yardarm because I was an electrician. I was the first woman to qualify for the underway fire party, which was a lot of work. And I got some hazing. They give you a red shirt when you qualify for the party. So that means that they pound on your belly until it turns red or purple, as the case may be. They grease you, they blue you, they do all kinds of really interesting things to you back then that they don't do anymore. My favorite picture is a picture of me on the flight deck in a flight suit, in the silver firefighter suit off the coast of Beirut. You can see the barracks has been blown up in the background and it's still smoking. I was on the USS Acadia as my second ship, and we went into the Persian Gulf when they blew up the Stark and towed the Stark in and took the bodies off of the ship and helped her to port and helped to patch her up till she could make it home under her own steam. So after that, I decided that I probably wasn't going to stay in the Navy too much longer. Nobody back home thought very much of us when we came home. I flew home from Beirut, Lebanon, or from Bahrain after the Stark was hit, and a civilian man in the airport looked at me in my uniform and called me a warmonger and spit on my face. Oh, wow, that's just... I'm rarely at a loss for words, but I was that day. And so I got out not too much longer after that. I had a great tour of duty, a great time in the military, and I recommend it for anybody.